It is Tuesday night. It is 8 o'clock. Do you know where your DJ's at? I know where I'm at. I'm here with you. Yes, it's another DJ roundtable. And as always, I'm surrounded by some great DJs. And also, I'm surrounded by you as well. Everyone out there in watching on YouTube, or as I call the tubes, watching on Twitch. So if you're here on Tuesday nights, we're live and we do live interactions and live chats. So you can put in there what you're thinking, what your thoughts are, your questions, critiques, criticisms, comments. Go ahead and put it in there. The other thing also, like I said before, on the tubes, if you can do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell icon, share it with another DJ. And again, all those who have joined the DJ Roundtable to watch and stuff like that, please, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you. As you see, Sean is giving out love. Chris is giving out love. And as always, we appreciate you out there in the DJ world. And we have basically coast to coast tonight. We have Matt out in the West Coast. We have Joe in the West Coast. But I have Chris out in the East Coast. I have Sean kind of close to the East Coast, but he's the South. And then I have Dwayne over just east of me. And I'm, of course, here. I'm more in the Midwest. Dwayne is, even though Ohio is Midwest, I consider it part of the East because it's east of me, but that's okay. It's always fun. We have people, and I actually have one more DJ coming in. Hopefully, we have Brentley coming in later. All the way from Australia, DJ Dynablend. Yeah, Curtis here. Hey, what's up, dude? What going on? I am putting in a chat, and I'm going to put it in the chat for the show. Link for the speaker shootout so everyone can see what's going on. This is a speaker shootout they had in New York with Lou Harris and DJ Rachel and a few other people. They put a few speakers shooting it out. And we're going to talk about that in a few seconds. So I'm going to give a couple seconds while I talk about all the fun advertisements. And when I mean advertisements, we're talking about friends here, people here who have stuff. Everyone's social media account is going to be down below in the tubes. So there's always connections. I'm going to start with, of course, Matt and Chris. They're DJs. They have a lot of stuff going on. Chris also has his lovely golf set. He's doing mobile golf, and he's doing that portable golf system, which is really cool. So if you want like a mini golf feel, but brought to you, he's got it out there in New York. He's got a cool thing. Plus regular DJing, other special events. Of course, Matt pulling it up with his events, just killing it out there. Joe kills it with his events. Dwayne rocking out the house. He did a brewery, just killing it. I saw Don Berlin. He was doing a gig, a video I saw up on YouTube. I'm like, hey, that's really cool. And Sean is like burning candles at both ends. Not even funny. What he's got going on, 25 gigs on a weekend. Basically, it seems like when I talked to him on Thursday, and he's recovered yesterday, and he's alive here today. But we have a couple of shows to talk about. First thing first, we're going to talk about Cue It Up Thursday nights. It is the same time as our show, or if you're on the East Coast, it's 9 o'clock. It's Central Time. It's 8 o'clock. Of course, in California, it's 6 o'clock. They go live. Him with his main man, DJ Mikey Mike, which is in the chat. Both of them go for about 2 hours. Sometimes a little longer, sometimes a little shorter. All boils down to the topics, how they tackle it, and what's going on. Make sure you tune in on Thursday nights over there. Also, at the same time, which is a hard thing, you got to choose which one you want to watch, or you can watch on two screens, is Start to Spin, also on YouTube. They have some great stuff over there with information, different take on talk show. And then Wednesday nights, we have James King. He's over there, has his King's Court. He was talking about stuff this last week. Last Friday, actually, because I didn't have a gig on Friday, he had his son on there as a special guest. They were testing some stuff and testing some stream stuff, and it was kind of fun just hanging out and chilling and talking. But he has his King Court where he talks about DJ related things, and he has lots of videos on speaker shootouts, which we're going to talk about speaker shootouts today, and about the big one that happened in New York. We also have a couple product vendors here too. They're not just DJs; they're product vendors. First thing first, Joe out there in California, he has the coolest setup for your gear. The audio visual theta. If you want to step up your look, you want to step up your presence at a wedding, at a bar mitzvah, at karaoke night, whatever the event is, getting a hold of him. Look at that right there. That's the audio visual theta in the wild on a stand. He can make that happen for you. You can tell him what you need, what you want, and he will try to make sure it's exactly what you need. Get a hold of Joel. He's out there, link down below for that. He has some special deals out there, so make sure you talk to him. Speaking of special deals, I also have Sean over there, DJ Night Owl, or AKA my late night BFF, which we talk about quite a bit stuff, and shooting ideas off each other, as well as I shoot ideas with other people as well. But it's always fun with him. He has his photo booth, and I actually bought one. You have actually 3 different booths, and if you want to save a few dollars, I have a special code. Don't tell no one, or you can tell someone. Use code DJ Roundtable and get some money off. You get a few bucks off of that just for that code. So make sure, link is down below to his website. Make sure you connect on there. Of course, I have Kurt over there in Australia. He is rocking it out, the beautiful sands of Australia, as well as the beautiful, just the beautiful cities he's in and the beautiful area. He's hanging out with kangaroos, and he's hanging out with us tonight. Again, I'm not Australia. I've not been to Australia, but I heard kangaroos are kind of like our deer. They get hit by vehicles on the roadways, and they will mess up a vehicle. No volume.
Run over quite a bit.
You got to turn your volume up a little bit there.
Run over quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, that you don't want, but make sure that you don't. If you go to Australia, watch out for the kangaroos because they are wild and they're like deer. They're huge. They're muscle. There's pictures of them like they like tense up to fight. They look like Mike Tyson. They're like built like beast.
No box you.
So make sure if you go to Australia, visit down there. First, make sure you tell him that you're coming to visit. Second thing is that he can show you around. And unfortunately, I do drive on the wrong side of the road, but that's okay. What was I going to say? Let's see. What's Mike saying over here? Oh, Mike's saying stuff. Oh, hey, what's going on, everyone? Everyone in the chat. Good to see you guys. Mike has got a streak watching it. Wow, there you go. He's currently on a streak. And no, I did not order the Bass Boss speakers. Again, that's something I would probably not buy for $16,000. Again, it's a nice speaker and all. I'd love to hear them, but are they practical at like 200 pounds? Yeah, no, it's not. It's you need a truck with a lift or with a ramp. It's something that's a niche speaker. Is it cool? Yes. Is it practical? No. It's kind of like the Evolve 90s. It's an 18-inch subwoofer. It's kind of like I would probably say the 70 would probably be a better one. There's other speakers out there, but yeah. No, that's that Pennsylvania money that I don't have. So again, I put into the chat, and I'll put in the chat here is the shootout from the speaker shootout. And we were looking at beforehand. Sean and I were talking a little before the show about the speaker shootout and how it was, and some of the cool things they had there, some interesting things. And I wanted to, I'm going to connect with Sean first because we were talking a little earlier. Sean, we were talking about this. the amount of speakers, this versus the Harvest of Sound, I would say this is probably what, about half the speakers they had at Harvest of Sound, or maybe a little bit more than half.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so the brand. Essentially, you had LD, RCF, and EV. You had one speaker only from QSC, and I think one speaker from Martin. So essentially, it was only the three brands. So I mean,
And
that
one
was a little
speaker from
disappointing.
JBL.
Yeah, one speaker from JBL. It's actually the one JBL I own. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting. I wish I would have been there. I'm curious the order these speakers went in.
It's one of the things that's very interesting. And again, I think it's more or less what was available to get a hold of for brands, because again, not everyone has every single brand in their repertoire and their inventory. I think it's very interesting that only one JBL. I would love to have seen more, and a few other of the other brands. And one of the things we were talking about before was is the speakers, some of the new speakers out there that James King has done shootouts on. Exelton is one of them, I think, if I'm saying that right, and the Rockville Titan. There's a few other speakers, and again, Rockville is not going to give free gear away, but it would have been nice to see a Rockville Titan against some of the other brands, and let the again, DJs were listening to this, and DJs uh, were the ones picking it out. And the thing also is that the fabric that they use is designed for sound to pass through without any interference. Now, it's one of the things I remember they did Harvest of Sound. They had to find special fabric so it would not block any frequencies. It would be sound neutral, which I thought was really cool because if you look at the pictures, you look at the video on there, they had the speakers behind a big black curtain. So they're not showing the audience what it is, and they're letting them listen to each unit, and they're playing songs. They also give a list of songs that they used, which I felt was very interesting. The one thing I noticed, it wasn't anything more newer of a song. Nothing that's very very current, but they're still good songs, and there are a lot of songs that you would probably play at cocktail, at dinner, at a wedding. Um, So it's one of the things that I would definitely would say is very interesting. The one thing I did find again interesting also is the shootout between um, the Maui 28, the Maui 44, the Evolve 50, 70, 90, and KC 12. Now the 50, the 12, and the 28, I would say would be its own category because those are a little smaller subs. Those are 50s. The 30, if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong, it's a 10-inch woofer. And then the 70 and 90 are the difference is the woofer itself. So I would see the 70 and 90 versus the 44. That's the way I would have done it, because the 44 is a 15-inch woofer, the 90 is an 18, the 70 is a 15, and I would have done like those three and probably include if they had the chance to use is like the Evox 12 from RCF to go against those, have it four-way and see how it went. But the KC12, I know that Matt has the KC12, and he just put a video up on Facebook, not Facebook, on YouTube, that he did a EDM gig with it. And I know the KC12 is a 12-inch woofer, if I remember correctly. And they've been very popular with the sound, and it's a three-way system versus the Evolve 50 is kind of technically a two-way, but I don't care about the two-way versus three-way stuff. That to me is like, yeah, whatever. The KC12 is technically a little louder than the Evolve 50. On this list here, they have Evolve 50 at 127 dB, and the KC12 132, and the Maui 28 127.
But
So
price wise, the KC12 is really right there with the EV50. and they're both pushing the same size subwoofer. I mean, those should have been a category. The way they grouped most of the speakers into one category, and you got 12s and competing with the 18s from the 90. I mean, I don't know. I'm confused on how they grouped that all together.
Yep.
So I want to go to Matt. Matt, you have the KC12s. Have you heard the KC12 versus like a Maui 28, or have you? You know, I'm sure you've heard because you go to a lot of the shows. And you hear the 50s, you hear this, and you have a set of KC12s. Do you think that the KC12 had an advantage or disadvantage against the 50 or against the 70?
I think he's muted.
Sorry. Well,
You,
I
you
heard the tail end of that.
so since you have the
Yeah.
KC12 and
hmm
you've lived with it for a while, with this right here, do you feel the KC12 going against the 50 is an even match, but against the 70 and 90, it's kind of like an unfair match because the bigger woofer in the
Oh
70 and
yeah.
90?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the 70 and the 90. If you've seen the 70 and the 90 in person, that's a big ass speaker. That's not a curse word. That's a big speaker. And it's a huge subwoofer and it's heavy. So like I don't think you can I think you can keep the KC12 in the same column as the like 28G3 and 50M and yeah, that. But like once you go into the 70, 90, like it's odd that they have the 70, the 90, and the 44G2. I get why they did it because they're all column arrays, but they're different sizes column arrays. So I don't know. And also like that's a really low rating. They sound really great. It just depends on how you deploy them. And yeah, in certain rooms they sound terrible with the bass, and especially on like a concrete floor or an echoey room, like they don't really do perform well. But like if you're on carpet or like a hollow stage or any sort of like wooden floor, like they sound great and they're loud. They actually have a pretty decent throw. They're not meant for a huge room. But I like I tell people this all the time when they ask about my KC12s. I got the pair of them for 3,200, like like 3,250 with covers out the door when they launched. I wouldn't pay a penny more than that for them. So the fact that they're 2,200 a piece now, they're definitely not worth that price. I don't even think
Would
they're really.
you
Yeah.
would you though, given they're the same price as the EV50, would you take KC12s over the EV50?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't like the sound of the EV. I don't like the sound of the 70 or the 90 either. I when I did the demo rooms at NAMM, they sounded different no matter like anywhere in the room they sounded different whether you were sitting or standing. Sometimes they sounded bad, sometimes they sounded decent, and it's like it should sound good all around, and it didn't. And yeah, I've never been a fan of the and that's with all their tuning too. And all the EV guys are like, "Oh, this sounds so great," and blah blah blah. I'm like, just no, it
Well,
doesn't.
again, different people like different
There's
things, just like what kind of
there's no
car you like
depth.
to drive.
There's no depth in the music with the Evolve series. That's the one thing I could tell people. It's because again, it's not a there's no mids. It's a high and a sub, and you feel like you're missing that warmth in the song. That's all.
And that's the hard thing right there is again, everyone likes different things, different thoughts on sound. And again, like it's like having a car. What kind of car you drive? Some people want to drive a Chevy, some people want to drive a Toyota. And there's no right or wrong answer. It boils down to what you like. But it's very interesting that, um, they group together the 12s with the larger subwoofers, the 15s and the 18. And I would personally, if I would have done it, I would have separated the two ends and said, okay, fine, great. But the Evolve 30 and the Maui 11, okay, I can see those two right there because they're a smaller subwoofer. But it's very interesting because the Maui, according to this, did better than the Evolve 30. And Evolve 30, I know people who have Evolve 30s, they love their
They
Evolve
al-
30s.
They do. They also like look at the tracks. Like none of these are like bass pounding or like I have some really great demo tracks that I use for my equipment, and they're none of these. So
Again, they're
These are
older
all
tracks, and again,
songs
I
that you
can
would actually
see.
play at an event.
oh,
That's what I'm
I can
I play
see.
I play. You wouldn't play subs by Yuki at an event? That's if you ever want to test your subs, there's a song called Subs by Yuki, Yookie, or just any song by Yuki. Down with the Sickness. He's got a bunch of different ones. His is just push bass. Really, that's what Bass Boss uses for all their when your head gets destroyed demos. So they
Blue
should have done
Monday,
something like that.
Blue Monday by that hits hard. Blue Monday.
Oh
Boom,
yeah.
boom, 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 boom. New order.
Yeah, there's one where really I see here with more heavier bass would probably be next episode.
Hip
Um,
hop. There's not much hip hop in here. They should have had two or three
no,
different
yeah, there
hip
should
hop
have
tracks,
been.
or how about even a Pitbull song? I don't see a single Pitbull song in here. He should have played something one of that to also accentuate some of the highs, the horns that he plays. He's definitely missing a few things, but I mean, what kind of crowd are you trying to diverge in testing your speakers here in this
Well,
shootout?
it's other DJs. It's other
Right,
DJs
no, of
sitting there.
course, but what sound are we going to end up playing through them when we're doing events? Is he trying to do this speaker shootout for what? For wedding guys or just basic parties? I mean, where is this hit off to make it sound the best for each of these companies putting out these speakers for us? You know, in our real life scenarios.
Well, again, you can't play. You had to pick, only certain songs. It
Right.
should have been a little bit more, maybe a couple, one or two more bassier songs. I would have said yeah, but like Billie Jean, that has a good beat, good rhythm to it. Sweet Dreams,
Right, but again, that song is from the '80s, and was he going to play a remix or something that's been remastered again? You're not going to play an original.
Yeah, again, it's one of the things that what they picked. Um, it's very interesting. One more time, Daft Punk. I can see that again. That has a little hit there.
Very popular song,
Levels,
absolutely.
Levels again. Avicii,
Mhm.
a good song. Um,
Are you gonna be my girl? That would have to be the worst high pitched, song you could ever play to test a
Yep.
speaker.
Jet. Yeah. I mean, he could have played something of some more female dance, like a Cher song. You
I
know,
Believe. Who has played
Yeah.
Believe at a wedding? I play that quite a bit. It's one of the things that people
how
go
about
lose their
Robin
mind
S.
over.
Show Me Love? That's a
Yeah.
great
Robin
classic.
S.
It has
Robin S.
bass and it's got- yeah,
Something that's produced cleanly and nicely.
yeah.
AC/DC, throw some AC/DC Thunderstruck in there.
Rock. There's not much country in here. He's got one country song, and that song is already 20 some odd years old. How about something of the new country that involves a little bit of the hip hop, or something old school classic country? You're talking like Country Roads. I'm like, that's way long before things have changed in the country music industry, the way they record their sound.
And you would have done Teddy Swims or something like that, someone newer. And again, it's one of the things you can kind of say. Well, they can have 50 songs there, but they want to test the speakers. So again, I could see it having not a huge list. They would make 8 to 13-second loops of each song. So again, it's designed for you to hear. It's a song you're familiar with. So that's probably one of the things they tried to do.
I'm just saying that the genre pick is pretty wide, very standard, but nothing that would wow anybody.
But it's stuff
selection.
that we've all played here and there. Man, I Feel Like a Woman.
Absolutely.
We've played that how many times at weddings? Not every wedding, but again, you play enough times a year during a year. One more time, again, how many times you play that? Next episode, I played it a few times here and there. It all boils down to the crowd.
Nothing recently.
But Take Five, that's like one of the songs I a lot of times play at the beginning of Empire Dinner because it's instrumental. It has a great groove, a great beat. It has that nice bright horn. It has nice rhythm on it. It's a nice song for it's instrumental. It's a nice song there and there. Again, there's so many songs here, but again, I would like to see a couple more songs. But again, they're playing 8 to 13 seconds of each song for a loop. So again, they're not playing the whole song. They're not trying to, have a dance party. It's not they're certainly mixing the music. They're trying to say, hey, here's a sample song. Listen to this song. What do you feel it's best on the speaker? And they don't want to be
Right.
there, have people there all night long for one speaker and go through 50 songs on one speaker. They would be there for days. That's the thing they don't want to do. Uh, but it's very interesting with this list. Uh, Dwayne, what do you feel about like the list and the speakers? Is there something that caught your eye? Anything that you're like, man, I didn't think about that, or that's a kind of a cool combination, or is there a speaker there you're like, I would have liked to have seen fill this speaker in?
Honestly, I just saw numbers, so it just went. It means nothing to me because really, if I can't really hear it and judge for myself, it's like numbers don't mean anything. One thing I looked at was the SBL, since that's what you all say, that's what you should look at as far as that. And then, of course, the price. Those are the two things. Other than that, if I can't hear, it's nothing I can really add to it.
The one thing I wish they would have had is the return of the Harbinger array, which they had previous on the previous list, and that's something that Dwayne has a set of the Harbinger arrays, and also Kevin has a set of the arrays, and they like the Harbinger arrays for certain events because they're nice and clean and bright. And Sean, you said you liked the Harbinger array too, right?
Yeah, I had the Harbinger array for a little bit. The sound is great. I wasn't impressed with the build quality. I thought their connecting components were a little cheap, but sound was there. I would have liked to have seen Rockville, the new Rockville column array. That's supposed to give the Harbinger quite a good run for its money. And why wasn't the LD NE8 put in against those EVs? I would
How
like to
about
see
even
how
some
the
of the
NE8 or the NE10 or the Bose. The Bose should have been in there too.
how about
Yeah.
even anything from Mackie? Because they were literally at DJX.
Yeah.
There's nothing of their new
Not a single
fabric cars,
Mackie.
not a single Mackie. I was find that a little strange, you know.
Alto just came out with a new smaller column array. I mean, again, it was very focused on just a couple brands. And
Yep. And I don't
Yeah.
even know what categories
interesting
they were
that
looking to do
interesting
these
that
with.
one of them scored
It
the
was hard to
best in
pinpoint.
previous years, which was a cheap model that wasn't there this year, which is again the Harbinger. So,
Well, the other thing also is
and the
that
RCS, where's the J8? Where's the J8 and the Evox 12?
They don't want to sell them.
Very good questions.
or
They don't
the
wanna sell 'em.
or the art series on a cabin. And then one of the things we're talking about here
Yeah,
is the subwoofer, the 19-inch subwoofer, which Matt, you brought up a good point about the 19-inch subwoofer earlier. You want to reiterate that?
Um, the um, yeah, it's in a class of its it's in a class of its own.
Yeah.
Um, I have a really
I changed it, buddy. You're good. I changed it. You can turn my camera back.
You're here to talk about the speakers.
Yeah. It's in a class of its own. It's a professional level, like on the 9000, like the 9019 is a very not consumer grade speaker. So I don't think it's really fair to put that in the comparison at all, really. Like
Like put
They
in a
literally took,
21
it's almost a, what, $6,000 sub?
exactly.
And that sub alone costs the price of those other combinations put together. But
Yeah.
then they also put it with a $1,200 top. Like,
Yeah, and that's the old. That's not even the new NX. The new NX is the 932. So that's weird. I don't know who. It's whoever had what they had, and they just threw it all up there. I guess I don't know how this. Sorry.
Buddy's got a lot of editing to do on this one.
Holy schnuckies, man.
I can't go a single show without cursing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
why I
we gotta
keep a
get a
running
younger kid
tab,
in here.
because I gotta go and edit things and spend my time editing, because it's not a hard thing.
Virgin ears, Solstice. Virgin ears here.
You need to have that button.
The
that he-
beep.
yeah, beep.
Oh, that's a
Sensor
whole
button.
nother area. So I got to I could do all that stuff in post, so I can't do it live. That right there, you're starting getting into like TV production, and that costs a lot of money versus what I do. Again, we're doing this for free. So, and one of the things is that looking at the list and looking at everything here, as far as stuff, I find where is it at? The one speaker system from Martin. And I'm like, Martin is kind of, not a huge brand. And I found interesting. I'm like, Martin, like, sound interesting. Did anyone thought of that as well? Thought Martin's like kind of like, okay. No, I just thought it was
It's
kind of like,
it's like B-52. They came out with a good product, but they didn't last. B-52 speakers.
They
They
were
had
around a long time, weren't they?
they didn't last long. So these manufacturers come out with new speakers, and they just don't have the support of the finances to keep on going.
Well, not Martin. B-52 was
B-52s, they were
being
the
rated as
band pass design, weren't they? Oh, good. Old school.
B-52s
the
are
same
older
quality
speakers.
as Harbor Freight.
So
Go ahead.
Chris, on this list here, what would be your add to speaker you would want to see on this list? Is there a speaker here, a speaker either array or a speaker setup you'd like to have seen on that for a shootout?
I would most certainly like to see, something from Mackie in this. Some odd, if you want to go another lower end, I've seen this around in other sub industries of entertainment, soundbox. They're not very expensive. I personally almost consider some of the brands to be, prosumer grade. I wouldn't call them like industry type, but something that's on the lower end, but very budget, but still has a quality that makes them last and make them desirable for other entertainment industries. Here, is he trying to stick with the DJ industry, or is he trying to go for other entertainment? With this shootout.
The was it Mackie Thump Go speaker?
Yeah,
I would like to see a shootout against the Everse 8.
Yeah.
That would be a nice shootout. And then
And what
the
about
Eon,
even Pioneer's Alpha, the Wave 8.
Alpha Theta Wave 8s.
Even...
I would like to have seen a Wave 8 versus a Everse 8 and Everse 12. I would love to have seen that. I would love to have seen Alpha Theta's 12 against with an Alpha Theta subwoofer against some of the other ones. Again, it's
Right.
I'm sure they're very
choices.
select. They had very limited resources to get everything together.
No, of course,
Harvest of
but
Sound,
I'm sure
I think
they
they
could
had
have
a little bit more
reached out.
time than this.
I'm sure they could have reached out to some of the vendors and stuff and asked, "Do you have anybody that has anything in the area? Are they willing to come?" I'm sure Lou could have comped the tickets. Hey, you're going to bring this for us. We'll put in the shootout. You got another DJ in the area that's willing to bring this over for us. We'll bring it in the shootout.
And that's one of the things. Again, this is their first one they're doing. Since they're doing something different from Harvest, and Harvest of Sound is unfortunately no longer around, and Lou and Rachel, they put this together to get a nice, cool effect and try to shoot out and show people, hey, this is some of the speakers, not all the speakers. It's not going to be every brand. It's not going to be every single style, every kind.
It's their first one. I think they did a great job, at least of what they were limited to being provided.
And again, what would you like to have seen? Yeah, there's a few of the other ones I'd like to have seen there. Again, J8s I would like to have seen. I would classify a little bit differently on the 70, the 90, and the 44. I would put that its own class, just because again, bigger woofers versus a 12. The KC12, Evolve 50s, the 28. I think those are three very popular speakers. You know, the 50s, I know tons of people have 50s and they love them. So I could see the 50s in there. The J8, again, I have the J8s. I could see J8 in there. I could see a few others, but again, this is their first year doing it. It's very interesting. And like before, they put people down. They have a black, kind of like this, pipe and drape up in black in front of the speakers, and they play a song. And that song the people are there listening to, and they're rating the speaker what they're rating it as. And they try to be as neutral as possible. I know that that they want people to make their own decision. You know, an intelligent informed decision is important to whomever. And again, you're buying a Evolve 70 or Evolve 90. You're spending $3,000, spending $3,300, $3,400 for a speaker, $3,600 for a speaker. It's kind of nice because if you can't go to a place, you actually want to hear them. Sometimes there's stores you can go walk into and listen to, you know, a comparison between a couple speakers and kind of have your own shootout, and you can decide which one you like. And that's one of the cool things is that I'd love to have them do this in a few other markets, you know, do one here and maybe one out west in California and do three of them. And that way you could have, you know, people in different areas, different markets, and listen to it. Because again, just this was in New York. So, you know, again, if you go further down the coast, you go into, let's say the Carolinas, or you go to the Midwest, you do it here in Chicago or in Dwayne's backyard. And if you go to LA, you know, you get a different group of people, different thoughts, different ways of doing it. They don't do anything like this down in Australia, do they? A speaker
What's
shootout
that,
or anything
mate?
like that? They have no speaker shootout down in Australia, do they?
Nah, I think Aussie DJs are too lazy to make videos. I actually don't own any column arrays, so I can't really comment.
Well, there's other speakers there. There's you know, ICOA 12 with a sub. There's
Yeah, we got the
couple of standard
MIBs,
two
we got
ways.
brands like that.
There's EV, the EXT, ETX 10P. So that right there is another two-way plus a sub. So there's a couple, you know, setups kind of like what you do, a two-way cabinet and a sub. But I think it would be interesting that they set something like that up, especially down there in Australia. And what's your big DJ store down there? Is it GJ City?
DJ City, yep. And Store DJ, yep.
So
They carry most of the brands you guys have.
I think it would be cool if they had something like that, a shootout at some of their select stores in the bigger cities, and they invited DJs to come out there, and they kind of did the same thing, put it behind a black, you know, no one sees any brand, no one knows what brand it
Yeah.
is. They put it behind pipe and drape, and say, okay, we're going to play a song. Here's a couple of songs. We're going to play. Here's DJ. Here's speaker 1. Here's speaker 2. Here's speaker 3. Here's speaker 4. Here's speaker 5. Whatever speakers I have, and play the song through it and say, hey, what's going on here? Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I think that would be very, very cool. And this is something, again, that Lou and Rachel worked on to get going. And I do have to thank them both for doing it because, again, it has a lot of questions. And, again, the thing is not seeing every speaker that we have. Again, they can't have every single speaker, but they can, hopefully, in the future, have more speakers.
Maybe this type of event will, you know, empower other brands to say, let's get in on this. They're doing it. This is their first one. We want to jump in. We want to put our product spotlight in with this. Here you go, guys, for next year, whatever they're going to do this again. It might.
Oh, yeah, that's-
Hey, why don't you put one on?
things easier. What's that, Sean?
I said, buddy should put one on in Chicago.
I don't have all the connections.
Oh, you know a bunch of DJs, buddy.
Well, I know a bunch of DJs, but I don't have all the connections. Getting brands in there and stuff like that. And again, it's one of the things that I think it's kind of cool, you know, putting a shootout out. And, you know, having them go through stuff. It's a lot of work. A lot behind, a lot of getting organizing and coordinating, getting all the products there. So again, I give them kudos for doing that and doing the shootout. Really quickly, since we got a few minutes here and we're done talking about the speakers, really quickly, show of hands. Anyone here have any gigs on Halloween or Halloween weekend coming up this weekend? All right. So we got 3. Sean, you got 4. Sean's got his hand up too. Chris, you got nothing?
Nothing for the weekend, but it's still early. I might end up getting a call last minute, as I usually do.
Kurt, how about you? Do you got anything for this weekend for Halloween?
No. Nope.
I have meetings, so I have tons of meetings this weekend with customers. So it's always a fun part. But Matt, here's a question: are you getting dressed up for the for Halloween?
No, because it's a wedding.
They're not theming it for Halloween. No.
Nope. Haven't even downloaded any Halloween edits. Nothing.
All right. Dwayne, getting dressed up or not for the event?
Nope, because mine is technically not a Halloween party. It's a veteran party, veteran dinner dance. So I don't think they're going to be doing too much Halloweenish kind of stuff. But I'm be prepared. So if they ask me to play something, I'll be ready to go though.
Thriller always works, and Time Warp always works. Joe, what about you? Are you getting dressed up, or are you going as Joe to DJ it and rocking it out?
Oh, it's not officially a Halloween party, but they said, they're encouraging people to wear something. So, bare bones, I'm not going to dress up, paint my face or anything, but I'll throw like a afro wig on, maybe some glasses, and like maybe a 70s shirt or something real simple.
Disco Joe.
Yeah, Disco Joe. There we go. We got Disco Joe this weekend. He's gonna be rocking out and chilling out in the 70s, man.
Yeah, you don't want to be the only one coming in, and everyone else is like, they're not wearing a costume. But again, we're entertainers. That's what we're supposed to do, entertain. So, but I wouldn't go crazy about it.
Oh no, mostly you don't want to upstage people either. That's the bad part. What about you, Sean? Are you getting dressed up for your Halloween event?
I'm going as Buddy. I'm gonna get a little black T-shirt and shave the beard off, and
but you can't
go
grow
TJ Buddy.
Wig on, a little dark hair wig.
Yeah,
he's gonna glue
I'll
his beard
draw
on his
some
head.
hair in, or try dyeing a little bit of peach fuzz I got up there right now.
Just for men.
Hey, you know what? Black t-shirts are nice to have because they're always stylish. I'm always styling.
Yep. Fade into the background.
So, are you getting dressed up just for Halloween, Kurt, or are you just going to give out candy, or is that a thing in Australia?
No, it's not really. It is celebrated here, but not as big as in the US, obviously. So I don't have too much to do with it.
Oh, here
I know, boring.
Yeah, here in the U.S., it is a big thing. Kids knocking on the door, asking for candy. I think Tracy and her sister got us. I want to say like 5 bags or 6 bags of candy, and each one is like those huge giant bags with like 50, 60 pieces of candy in there. So they went to Walmart and got huge giant bags of the little candy. So a couple of different ones.
Brian S. Red, he does a good job decorating his house for Halloween.
Oh yeah, Brian goes out. He puts his usually puts a car in the driveway and has stuff glowing underneath the hood. And sometimes, like year before last, he has son-in-law's T-bird in there. Where it looked like fog or smoke was coming out, like it was on fire inside. Does some cool things. I'm going to be giving out candy. I'll set my little table up outside in front, and I sit there and give candy out and see all the neighborhood kids. Hopefully, my daughter comes by with our grandkids and they get some candy. All boils down to how busy she is, but all boils down to just giving it out and having fun and enjoying that night and embracing the spooky season. That's why last week we had a ghost hunter on, which I'm very sad he wasn't be able on tonight, but hopefully we'll get him back on next week and get him on the rotation as one of the DJs. So as always, Nathan comes in right at the end of the show because he likes doing that.
Somebody's got to work around these parts. I'm literally been going through. I just sold a bunch of lighting and Solstice. This will make you happy. These came from Solstice Entertainment, and I forgot I had them. They're literally in the back of my garage, and I forgot I had them. I brought them home, so I figured they'd be dead, and unfortunately, they're not dead. They're still charged. I've used them twice since I bought it off of him.
That's
that
awesome.
shows the battery life. They do the Pixbar 1000s from both lighting that I got from Solstice over there. So if Solstice ever decides to quit DJing, I want him to come sign each and every one of these.
I guess Matt's got to come to the Midwest now.
Probably Sheds.
Sheds.
It is not Sheds. It's both lighting.
Oh, it's both.
USA, both lighting.
That's awesome.
These are the Pixbar. I'll show it off so you can see them. These are the Pixbar 1000s. I do have a power cord hanging from them. I actually bought some PowerCon cable. And here's the case. I'll show it to you real quick here. Hold on. All right, come on camera. There we go. There's the case. So who wants a super long cable going to their charge deal? So short cable goes right into the light. You ain't got 8 feet of cord in here getting tangled up. So I've got 4 of them. I still never bought any 2 more of them. This is actually not even both lighting's case. This is the Roxville hybrid flight case. So that's another thing. If you guys ever buy lighting and both lighting's cases are really expensive, go check out Rockville's. I mean, he sold 6 of them. It's got wheels on it. It's the exact same stuff as the other ones. And speaking of Sheds, there's 2 new moving heads from Sheds. I actually use them at my gig. I'm currently waiting on flight cases for them, and I also got 2 more 360s in there. I picked up at a yard sale, so I now have 6 of those. So I'm just waiting on flight cases. So, and then I also found a bunch of clamps. These clamps here, which ones are the ones that have these little? Where's my camera? These little symbol on it. These are like the best clamps. They're like a knockoff to a global trussing clamp, but they're really super nice. They're not like the cheaper ones. Of course,
I have all those too, but they don't fit on the smaller poles like on your old T-bars and stuff.
No, those are 2-inch. Those are 2-inch. And then, of course, the wonderful Rain Performer sitting here in my office. But, yeah. And then, all right. Something about that I have to say. Oh, darn it, I don't have my other uplights here. So if you guys do buy flight cases from Sheds, they actually have a guy in Texas that sells Sheds lighting. He sells flight cases. You don't have to wait for that stuff to get overseas. 2-3 days tops, you've got your flight case. This is a Sheds. This is a 10-unit uplight flight case, okay? Nice black, very nice. Of course, it's locked. No, it's not. I'm just not pulling on it the right way. I've got a couple of them out charging right now. But these are not super tight compartments like the both lighting ones are. See how that moves around in there?
Yeah.
Their compartments are made too big. They move around. So I sent that information to Sheds. And also, these plugs are made for EU and United States. You can plug into those. But that's the only thing that's different about the flight cases versus like both lightings or the American cases. Sheds cases, I mean, I don't know if you can see that very well. There's not much good lighting here in my office, but there's easily a good inch and a quarter between that light and this divider right here. So they don't sit in very super tight.
So you're saying buy a pad of foam.
the foam that comes with the lights, when you buy the lights, if you buy the lights from Sheds and you buy them in a flight case, your lights are going to ship separately. They're going to ship individually from the United States warehouse. The flight case, if it's not in the United States, will ship from China by boat. My buddy Bob bought 24 or 48 of the S6s from Sheds. He also bought them in flight cases. He got the lights in about 4 days. Took him 67, 68 days to get the flight cases. Nothing wrong with them. They came perfectly. But they show them on their website being shipped in the flight cases. Now, I think both lighting ships theirs in flight cases, but Sheds did not. So that's something else. I'm not docking Sheds. They're really awesome if you guys are looking for lighting and you don't want to spend the big bucks. I'm a affiliate of Sheds.
We have some quality units, you know.
These units will be at my wedding, so they will. I'm in the process of eliminating a bunch of the old junk lighting that I've got. I'm actually just been giving it away. So if anybody wants anything, let me know. Get rid of stuff. But I'm keeping the quality stuff, like the 360 Intimidators, the bigger watch lights. I'm probably going to buy 2 more of those watch lights. Those are the new. Those did phenomenal this weekend. I had them actually hooked up to my analog controller, which is sitting on my couch right now, right there. I was able to program them. I've had those and the B-topper lights until for some reason they wouldn't stay paired to that controller. So the B-topper lights went automatically into an auto show. And then they would come back to DMX and they would switch back to auto. And I don't know what the deal was there, but I had them doing like a little white deal around the room. But yeah, it was. Sheds is nice. Some of their older stuff isn't super great, but their newer stuff they're coming out with is pretty good.
Well, it's good to know that got some lighting there, got some lighting information. So the question is, are you getting dressed up for Halloween, and if so, what as?
What, you don't like my mask?
Again, you're going to yourself.
He's got his Edgar suit on.
I'm going as a DJ / lawn care guy.
Well, there you
I
go.
thought I looked pretty good.
There you go.
So
Chris,
I will not be participating in Trick or Treat. However, I will be participating in the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future back in theaters starting on Halloween night. So going to a big premiere thing in Champaign. They're having a big Back to the Future thing up there. So they got a couple DeLoreans coming in. And
don't forget to bring your flux capacitor.
So yes, probably going to need some plutonium.
Yep.
So everybody knows where I can get some of that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to 1999, and I'm going to fix this world. Try to figure out where the alternate time continuum, smeared off into craziness, and then we're going to try to go back and fix all that. So maybe the after party. Which, if you guys want to check this out, make sure you go and check out TBM Productions YouTube channel, because you just never know when we might put up like a behind the scenes video or something y'all don't see when we're not live, because that's when all the fun happens.
Yeah, maybe sometimes, but
sometimes it gets a little X-rated, especially with Solstice in the.
Matt has salty language.
You're gonna need a censor button.
It's usually Sean and Buddy getting a little X.
Chris, are you getting dressed up for Friday?
Sometimes Chris and Buddy like to hand off slices of pizza. Sometimes Buddy likes to bite into a big old hot dog. You just never know what you're going to find here on the DJ Roundtable.
Oh yeah, Chris, are you getting dressed up? Are you getting dressed up Friday for anything?
I am.
We dress up as.
What, you want me to tell you? Is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so we know what to look for.
I heard you got dressed up
What are
as
you
IT guy.
going to be, Chris?
I heard you got dressed up as IT guy. Got to deal with the end of Windows 10.
No, I'm not going to dress up as an IT guy. I already did Men in Black. I already did Darth Vader. I already did DJ Marshmallow. I've already did Ted. Let's see. I've had so many different costumes that I made and done over the years. Last year's was interesting. Maybe I'll bring that back because it stayed nice and cool for me. So I was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Maybe I'll bring that one out again.
There you go. So a couple
was
things
the
here.
Pillsbury Doughboy when I was a kid.
A couple things here in the chat. Mike said that he's going to go as a broken record. Dana Blend says, "You spin me around like a record, right around." Kevin says he's going to dress up with a hockey mask and machete, along with his former Menards vest and name tag, and he is an end of the day worker, fed up with helping guests at Menards. Great customer service there as always.
Maybe I should dress up as a Radio Shack employee.
Hey, why not? One thing he said, let's see here. Kevin said he would say reach out to DJs on the ones that can get manufacturers to provide an exchange. They get free admission to the room. Which, yeah, that right there, if you can get a whole people to get and do something like that, that would be really cool. I think it would be really cool to have some products there from different manufacturers and see what happens. But I'd also love to see the same products they did the Shootout in New York with and bring those here and then see what happens with a different set of DJs and a totally different market. And again, same thing in California. That would be a cool thing to have that in a few different markets. Again, the list, I put it down there. I'll link it down below. Make sure you go take a look at the list. It is very informative. There's a lot of stuff there in the list. And I feel that, again, there's things there I would love to have seen. But also, again, Lou's got the video on there on YouTube. And you can kind of see in the video the drape up and the speakers behind there. And that would have been fun to go through and listen to the music and see what happened. And also see the reaction on the DJ sitting there would be cool too. So with that said,
buddy, why would you put a drape? Because all that's going to do is dampen the sound.
No, it's acoustically correct fabric, so it does not absorb sound.
Oh, okay.
And so you can't see and go, I'm an RCF guy. It has to be an RCF or nothing.
Playing.
Or I'm, EV guy, it has to be EV or nothing. Or I'm a JBL guy. If it ain't JBL, it's broken. This is to get rid of that bias that, people have. Mm-hmm. It'd be like, hey, I'm going to blindfold you, put you in the backseat of a car and drive you around. You tell me which car has the best feel to it, or which SUV has the best feel to it, or which pickup truck has the best feel to it. And you're going to sit in this pickup truck and, you can sit in a Toyota, a Ford, a Chevy, and we won't tell you what it is. You're blindfolded. You don't know what it is. And you tell us what you feel, what you think, how you compare the ride. So that's what they're kind of doing. They're trying to compare things to make sure that it's not, there's no biasy there. That's what they did in Boston too, which I felt was great. But again, I would like to have seen the Harbinger in there. I would like to see a few other brands, a few other models in there. All the fun stuff. So with that said, everything done tonight. I'm going to have...
we bid you adieu.
What was that?
We bid you adieu.
Yeah, we do bid you adieu. I'm actually going to have... I'm going to have Chris take us out tonight. Because why not? Chris, take us home, brother.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the DJ Roundtable tonight. Make sure you, again, give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget, like us, share with everyone else. And just so you remember to watch us, ring that bell. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everyone, and make sure you stay safe. Don't forget the discount on the photo booths. 3 models, 3 discounts.